Hi, beautiful people. This is another Killing Floor 2 SDK video. We will be looking at materials, because one of the questions that I have been asked fairly regularly is how to edit existing materials for your custom map, and every single time I've always thought, I wish I had a video that I could just throw at people. So hey, that's what this is. I'm going to be making a video on how to do that. What we're going to be looking at is, first of all, how to edit one of the existing official materials that's already in Killing Floor 2 to fit your custom map. And we will also be looking at how to extract a texture, open it up in a photo editing program, making adjustments, whatever you want to do. Maybe you want to put in a picture of a cat, or I don't know, some anime thing. A lot of you like anime, right? That Japanese thing. Yeah, I think that's pretty popular. Whatever it might be, whatever you want to do, we're going to be looking at a really simple and quick way how to do that, then saving it, re-importing it back into our map, and making a part of our environment. So with that said, let's just get right down to it. The very first thing that we are going to do is, let me just drag in my content browser here. Now, let's say we want to change, I've built a small environment here. Let's say we want to change this material right here. This is a standard official map material. We can find it by going into select materials here. Find material in content browser. We're gonna have to bring up our content browser, which I've actually forgotten how to do because I've forgotten the hotkey. I usually have it on my secondary monitor, which I can't use for this video, so I'm gimping myself. Sorry, that was beside the point. So find material instance in constant browser. That's this one right here. We can drag it onto other things, which is going to look really stupid, but just to show you that this is actually the material. Now, let's say we want to edit this. Let's say we want this to look different. What are we going to do? What can we do? Now, we could right-click it and use edit using material instance editor. And we get a lot of different things, variables and stuff we can mess around with, but this is not the way we want to do it, because right now we are editing the official material that is in Killing Floor 2 itself. And that is a bad idea. Never ever edit an official, one of the official packages. Do not edit and then save them. This will not be saved in your... If we edit this directly from the... Because this one, if we look at it, right, we are up here in Paris. This is actually one of the Burning Paris maps materials. If we edit this and save this, we will be overwriting the official package that comes with Killing Floor 2. And that is just going to ensure that whenever we try to go online and play on a server, our game won't be able to join because it's referencing a new material package that is being overwritten by your local copy, but not the one on the server. So the server tries to find the material that you've edited, and it's just gonna have a bad time. So just, don't do it. So what can we do? How do we edit this material? Because we don't want it looking like this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go down, scroll down to the bottom, open up the external package, and find our map. Now, this map that I'm working on here is called Level Design Materials. You can see that's the name of the map that I'm using right now, this environment. And once we have that open, we can see there are some shadow maps, which has been generated from all these shadows when I did the light build. Now, very simply, just find an empty spot, right-click, and select New Material Instance Constant. Whoop. It's going to bring up the package. Make sure this is our map name. If your map is called something else, then you type in the name of your map, or you can find it in the list of... it's going to be in this list somewhere. Just make sure this is the name of your map, the name that you've saved the file name under. Grouping is if we want to add it to a folder. Maybe you want to make one called Materials, or you can just leave it blank, then it'll just be right in here. It doesn't really matter that much. And the name, we're going to give it a name. It needs to have a name. So we're going to call this one White Paint Edited MIC. The MIC is something I'm adding so that I know this is my material instance constant. This is the one that's actually going to be dragged onto the environment. But again, you can call it whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. It's entirely up to you. I'm going to click OK. It's going to open up the editor, and now we have this blue and white checkered material, which is pretty useless. We can drag it onto our environment, but it doesn't look good, right? I'm just going to undo that. I'm just going to close this down for now. Now, what we want to do is we want to have this material that's right here applied to this copy that we have created in our map package, okay? The easiest, or I don't know if it's the easiest way, but the way that I do it is I just, again, I right-click the material in the environment, go down into materials, find instance in, wait, oh, sorry. One thing we need to do first, we need to make sure we have this editor open, right? Leave this open. I don't know why I closed it down, because I'm an idiot. So again, leave it open, right-click the material that you want, materials, find it in the content browser. Now we have it here. Select it, make sure it's selected, and then over here we have something called parent, which is right now set to none. I'm going to click this green arrow, and boom, now we have the actual material in from Paris. But this material, if we scroll back down into our external level design package, just, I know it looks like nothing happened, but watch when I hover my mouse over it, it updates. It doesn't update until you actually hover your mouse over it. Now, we can close this down if we want. We're going to be opening it anyway. But now, this material is in our custom map. Excuse me. So this is the exact same as the one in Paris, but now we have saved it in our custom map. So we can now edit this all we want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it onto my wall. I'm going to right click, open, edit the using material instance editor. And now we have all these settings that were previously, that we saw previously when we opened the official one. And we can start messing around with it. So how do we actually change things here? There's something that you need to pay attention to, and that is, let's say I want to change the color, right? This seems to be the color, scalar color A. Now I can go in here, click this, and I can make it a different color, like red, an ugly red. Click OK, and you're going to be saying nothing happened. That's because we have not told the editor to override the changes I've made. Right now, it has defaulted to all the values that is the parent, this one here, which is in the Burning Paris. So this will always use all of the settings that is in this original Burning Paris material, unless we override it by clicking this box. Whoop. Now it's red. Cool. So the other ones are still white, and that's because we did not apply our material. These are still the Burning Paris ones. I can just select them, drag our new material onto them, and there we go. We have a red wall. Cool. You can open it up, and we can do all sorts of things. But every time you make a change, you have to make sure that you tick this box. Otherwise, if you untick it, it defaults back to the parent, which is this one. So, tick it. We can change the color again to something else. Green. Sure, why not? An ugly puke green. It's beautiful, right? It's like moss. It's pukey moss. This is a bloat office. You can change all sorts of things. You can just play around with it, see what does what. Change the scalar diffuse contrast. Set it to 0, see what happens. Ooh, that makes it very bright. Change it to 2, makes it darker. 3, even darker. Now that is a really pukey green. That's disgusting. And again, all these things. You could even change the textures. If you click this little, what is it, a magnifying glass, you can see the original textures, and this will become important in a little bit. So this one uses this one, which is here in the material libraries. We can override and click one of the others and see what it does. Now, I'm overriding it, and I'm clicking the new one, and then I'm hitting this green arrow. Boop. That's a very slight change. How about this one? Boop. It's not a big change. Not really much happens. That's because we're just doing a mask. This is a very subtle thing. But if we take this one, the diffuse, override it, and click something else. Let's see. Maybe find something in here. Metal. What if we change it to a metal diffuse? Ooh. That definitely had a big effect. See what else we have. Grating. That's also diffuse. Hey, see that? So, yeah. So basically, and if you want to undo it, you can just untick these and it'll go back to the default. So, that's how you, and you can do this with any material, really. We can change the floor. Again, very quickly, I'm going to show you very quickly how to do it, just for a recap. We have our map package in the external. We right click, new material instance constant. Make sure it's the correct package. We call it something new. I'm going to call this one ugly carpet MIC. Click OK. Make sure we have the editor open. Then I'm going to right click it in the environment, materials, find the original, click it, and tie it in as the parent. Now I browse back down into my map package, and there it is. And I can now drag this onto the entire floor. And once I start making changes in here, vector carpet color blue, that seems to be the blue color. Let's change this to, I don't know, red, blue, green, yellow. It's an ugly piss yellow. Great. This is a very dreadfully awful office that I would not like to work in. But there you go. That is the basics of changing a material instance constant. You have to create a copy in your own map package. Never, ever, never edit the actual original. See this pillar here, this column? That uses a wall texture from Biotics Lab. Never right click and start editing this one, because you will be editing the actual game, the one that Killing Floor 2 is dependent on having in order to actually run the game and communicate with the servers and yada yada yada, all sorts of technical babble. Always create a copy in your own map package and then tie in whichever material you want as the parent, and then edit this one, the one that's now in our package. Okay? Right. That's that bit done. Let's move a bit further. Let's do something a little more advanced. Now, I have a monitor here, computer monitor. Let's say I want to do something with this. I want to have a custom computer screen. I want to display a different image on this. So what I can do is I can create a new material instance constant in my map package. I'm going to call it computer monitor, if I can spell, monitored, MIC. That's one there. I'm going to right click it. I'm going to find the actual, that's the material right here. I'm going to tie it in as the parent, which was just very slow. I thought my SDK crashed there for a second. Phew. Thank the stars. Right. Going to go back down to my material package, my map package, and there it is. I can now drag this onto this, and I can start editing this. Again, just as before, we can edit all these settings. Let's see, what could be fun? The diffuse, whatever, something, do something. Yeah, brightness, sure, why not? You can make it really dark, and make it super bright. But this doesn't really help me, because all I can do here is I can change the lighting, the contrast, the brightness, the reflection. I can maybe change some of the colors. But the problem is I cannot change this little image part here. You cannot do that from within the SDK, this actual image. If I start changing the colors, then the color of the frame, the border is going to change. The back of it is going to change. I only want to change this image. I want some new image here. In order to do that, we're going to have to export the original, this one, not the one that I've created in my package, but the actual one that's in the Biotics Lab package up here. Oh, it's really slow with this one. Oh wait, I just, never mind. I tried to open the Biotics Lab one by opening up my own one. Obviously it's this one, the parent. I can click this magnifier glass and it's going to take me to the actual one. This is the one, it's in the Biotics Lab material. Now, in order to do what I want to do, I need to extract this, get it out of the game and onto my hard drive so that I can open it with an image editing tool like Photoshop or Microsoft Paint, or whatever you want to be using, GIMP, Blender, whatever. How do we do that? Now that's a little more technical. We're going to need to download a program that can do that for us. The one that I use is called UModel. It's very lightweight, it's very small, it's an old tool. It's existed for a very long time. There are other tools, but I like using UModel. It's very, like I said, it's very lightweight, it's very easy to use. So, UModel. You go onto the internet. I'm not going to do it because it's not hard to find. Just go onto the internet, go onto Google and search for it. UModel. Called UModel. I'm going to open up my file explorer because I already downloaded it. I have it here on my D drive. See? UModel Win32 zip. It's a zip file. Once you have that downloaded, I'm not sure which version you want. I don't think it really matters. Just any version. They're all good, I think. We're going to extract this. I'm going to extract these files. D drive UModel Win32. That's fine. I'm going to take OK. And there it is. It's now extracted. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to run the program so you can just get a look at it. Now the first thing it asks is the path to game files. Right now we don't have any path to game files because we haven't set it up. So I'm just going to click OK. And we're going to get this window where there's nothing. We have nothing because, yeah, we didn't really do anything. And this window is part of the program. Don't get freaked out by it. So right now I'm just going to close this down because what we need to do, now that we have the program downloaded and installed, we need to find the package wherein this texture actually is. And we can look at our environment folder here. See, we are in environment, Biotics Lab material, and it's desk equipment, wasn't it? Where was it? No, I think it was office, right? Yeah, it's in the office. Now, once I have the material, what I want to do is I want to right click, open up the editor. I'm going to find the texture parameter values, okay? The one that I'm looking for is this one, the texture 2D diff. It's the diffusal texture. And the diffusal texture is just an image file. It's just a regular image file. And where I can find it is if I go out here, click this magnifier glass, you'll see it now moved me down to the Biotics Lab text and office, and it's this one. It's right here. Okay? This is important. It's the Biotics Lab text. This is the package this is the package that basically houses all of these different materials. So, Biotics Lab text. What I need to do now is I need to go to my Killing Floor 2 game directory. So I'm going to go back to my D drive, into my games. This is where I have Killing Floor installed. I'm going to go into Steam. Steam apps. Common. I'm going to find Killing Floor 2. It's down here somewhere among my throng of games. Killing Floor 2. I'm going to go into KF game. I'm going to go into Brood PC. And now you might think I'm going to go into maps, but no, I'm going to go into packages. I'm going to go into environment. And I'm going to find Environment Biotics Lab. And I'm going to look for, what was it called? It was called Environment Biotics Lab Text. I'm going to look for that. There it is. It's right there. See, all of these are the packages. If we look here, you can see these are actually all of them. Under the Biotics Lab map environment, you can see all these anim, mat, anim, mesh. See, these are right here. That's all these UPK files. The material, the mesh, the fizz, the text, and the text is the one we want because that's the one that has the image that we're trying to extract. So once I found it, it's right here, Biotics Lab text. I'm going to copy this, I'm going to go back to my UModel folder where I extracted and installed UModel, and I'm just going to make I can paste it right here, or I can make a folder. I'm just going to make a folder to clean things up a bit. I'm going to call this extracted packages. You can call this anything you want. It's entirely up to you. And in here, I'm going to paste the Biotics Lab text file. Okay? Good. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. I'm going to open up UModel. And it's going to ask where are the path to the game files. I'm going to click this right here. And it is in my UModel and extracted packages. The folder that I just created. I'm going to click OK. Going to click OK, and lo and behold, we now have the Environment Biotics Lab text UPK. You can double click this. It's going to load up a bunch of stuff, and here it is. Now, UModel is a very simple program, like I said. So, unfortunately, in order to browse through all of the contents of this texture file, we're going to have to do it manually by hitting the page down or page up key on the keyboard. This now cycles through all of these materials, all of these textures, which again are just basic image files. See? There's the paper debris on the floor. There's some office stuff, some books. I have no idea what that is. That's some sort of desk equipment. You can see what the object actually is. So I'm just gonna browse through these until I find the one that I'm looking for. You can probably recognize a lot of these, because obviously this is what most of Biotics Lab is made up of. These not quite the ones I'm looking for. I think I'm close. Ooh, there's some funky stuff in there. This isn't even in the game. Well, it's in the game, but it's not used. We continue. Looking. Yeah, it's not super advanced. And again, like I said, there might be better programs that are more advanced for extracting model textures and stuff. Feel free to experiment. If you find one that's better, then just use whatever you want. This is a pretty big package, so it's going to take a while. Oh, there it is. See? There it is. That's the one we're looking for. Environment Biotics Lab Computer Monitor Diff. It's exactly this one. Now, I'm going to go into Tools. I'm going to export current object. It's going to ask me where do I want to export it. And it already suggests exporting to a folder called UModel Export, so that's fine. I'm just going to click OK. And that's it. We can close UModel down. And now we have a new folder where we have these new folders, Texture 2D, and look and behold, there it is. It's right there. It's a TGA file. Okay? Excellent. We can open this and view it. Or not. Oh, my system is a bit weird right now. But, okay, anyway. Well, since this screen is now up anyway, we're going to be using it. This is Photoshop. This is my imaging tool. I'm going to open. I'm going to browse to It's right here. And UModel Export. This was where the image file was. And open it in Photoshop. We now have the image file open in Photoshop, and we can start editing this in any way we want. So what I'm going to do is I am going to bring in a really silly picture that I have of me being an idiot, as I often am. I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to paste it over. I just accidentally shut off the video recording because I clicked a hotkey to resize my stupid image here. And that was the same hotkey that actually stops recording in OBS. So, wonderful. So, I'm going to have to do a retake here. So, yes, I've pasted in my image and I want to transform it. I'm going to not see Control T. That's the one I clicked and that stopped my recording. So, I'm not going to do that again because that was dumb. So, I'm going to... First of all, I'm going to position it. Get it in place. Oh, that was scary. Let's get it. I'm just going to do a rough positioning. This isn't exactly high level artwork here. I'm going to transform it. There it is. Free transform. Oh, come on. Going to make sure that it fills out the space relatively nicely. I'm going to stretch it a bit, making myself look fatter than I already am. And that's pretty horrible, but it's fine. It's okay. It's good enough. So, I'm happy with this. I'm gonna save it as... I'm gonna make sure that it is saved. I'm gonna save it at the root of my drive so that I can easily find it. I'm gonna give it a new name as well. I'm gonna call it Dumbass Sean Monitor Diff, because it's a diffusal. I'm gonna make sure that I save it as a Targa file, because that's what the original was. So, saving it. And 32 bits, that's fine. I just leave it at whatever it is. Usually don't go below 24, but just leave it. Leave it as it is. I click OK. And now we're gonna re-import this image into our editor. So, I'm back into my map package, and like I said, I accidentally shut off the recording, and I shut down the SDK, and I didn't notice. So, everything has been reset. We're back to square one. That's what happens, but it's fine. That allows me to, gives me an opportunity to show you again exactly how to do this. So, we open up our map package in the external. We right-click in our content browser, and now we're going to import the image that we just made. Dumbass Sean Monitor. This one was the original one that I had from before. We open it. It's going to import. I'm going to make sure that this is the correct map package, and it is. And the name is fine. You can rename it in here if you want to. So, there it is. It's now in our map package. Now, but we can't drag this onto our environment because this is not a material instance constant. This is a texture. So, it won't go anywhere. So, just like before, like we did with the puke green walls and the piss yellow floor, we're going to make a new material instance constant in our map package. New material instance constant. We're going to give it a name. I'm going to call it stupid, if I can spell, monitor material, whatever. MIC, because this is a material instance constant. Hit OK. And there it is. Now, like before, I'm going to find the actual material from Biotics Lab, the original official material that I want to use. There it is. I'm going to tie it in as the parent. There it is. Browse back down to my map package in the external, and it's right there. Now, what I can do is, now that I have this open, this one is open now in my editor, I can click this diffusal that I just imported and created very artistically. I'm going to go down to texture parameter values. I'm going to override this one, and I'm going to tie this in with the green arrow, and we can already see it change right here. So now, I may need to tie it into some of these as well. Probably the normal might need it. Yep, the normal needs it as well. Now, I can take this material instance constant, that is a difficult word to say for me, drag it into my map, and there it is. There it is. Now my stupid face is on a monitor in a map. And we can walk around in here and see it in its full glory, in full 3D, people. Full effing 3D. What a time we live in, what an age. Hey, sup? The fuck are you doing? There we go. Beautiful. That's much better. And that is basically it. You can do this in many different ways and use all sorts of weird pictures, whatever you want to do. And I think my SDK is finally crashing. I would have been surprised if it didn't. So, yeah, there it is. Remember to save your work before once you have it in your map, save your map. Otherwise, that might happen. But that's what it is. That's the wonderful life of Doom with working with the Killing Floor 2 SDK. It's gonna crash your ass right into the Seven Oceans. So, I don't really have anything else. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helps you out, and I hope it clarifies to you how you can edit existing material instance constants by just tweaking the values. Create a copy into your own map, tweak the values, do whatever you want. And if you want to do some more advanced editing like we did here, download a program that allows you to extract the actual map packages like UModel or whatever else there might be. Edit it in your favorite editing software, and then re-import it, create a new material instance constant, and yada yada yada. You can just watch the video. I'm gonna stop prattling on. Take care, have fun, and yeah, kill some sets and stay cool. Yo, see you around. Bye.